right, very good. If you can get your video started, that'd be fantastic. So I can see who am I talking to, and that will make it a two-way kind of interaction. All right. Again, let's get your video started. All of you, get your videos going. All right, very good. All right, so many of us have not met, but I know many of you have taken courses from me before. So it's really nice to have you again with me. I know these are difficult times, different times, so we are trying to make the best of what we have. All right. So if you at any time wanna speak, talk, that's perfectly fine. You don't have to wait for me. Just maybe you wanna start talking, or you can raise. You can push the button that can show me thumbs up, so I can let you speak there. So I'm recording this session. So if any of you do not want me to record, I can stop it. But there are some students who have asked me that they cannot be here. So I have to record it for them as well. So today well, of course, we have done the introduction. I've read about your introduction, some of your things that you are doing these days and all that. And so I have a good background on almost all of you, and you have seen each other as well. So hopefully we are beyond the introductions at this stage. So I have, of course, there's 2, 3 new things that probably maybe these are new. I've posted some writing on soft chalk, which is where alternative to where you can give handouts in the class and materials, but you are doing the quizzes as you go along as well. So that's, I saw the numbers, because when you do those quizzes, it automatically grades and puts in your grading sheet as well. So that's happening automatically. If you see somewhere that your grade has not been posted accurately, you need to talk to me. I have given all the policies already out, so that's also something which we'll discuss if there is a question. There's one important assignment which is coming up, and that's key paper review. If you have not started working on that, now is the time. That is due in less than a week now. I think the deadline for key paper review is July 23rd. So, and the policy was given out, it's in the syllabus, it's posted in SoftChalk lesson as well. All right, so those who are joining late, can you turn your cameras on? I would like to see you when we start our lecture to get some visual feedback of how things are going. So please turn your camera on. And it's perfectly fine if your siblings walk in, if there is something going on in the background, because we all are living in these days. So you don't have to be embarrassed or feel bad about it. It's okay. We are here trying to learn each other, and there are no distractions. So the background does not bother me at all. It should not bother you as well. Yeah, I see some of you have long hair. Yeah, I also have long hair. I'm also not going out too much. All right, so can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see my slides? All right, very good. So I have posted some micro lectures also. So micro lecture is where ideally it should be 10 minutes, but professors, they like to talk a lot. They are about 12 to 15 minutes. I have not posted any quiz related to micro lecture, but this week you were already reading some material and the homework was due yesterday. So I know you had to read a paper, and then you had to possibly read 2, 3 more papers as well. So that probably we didn't have any quizzes there. But you have seen that this is how we'll operate. You have the quizzes, which are automatically there. You have homework assignment, which you have done. And then there are this more exploratory thing, what is called key paper review, and then a group research proposal. All right, so I've, if you have seen, I've already made the course into modules based on learning outcomes. So essentially, there's key concepts that I have packaged together, and my goal is to uh, get those some not just the learning outcomes, but measurable learning outcomes that I can ultimately say, okay, you are able to analyze the size and scale effects, or you are able to analyze how does the surface to volume ratio come into play when we talk about material. Calculate and compare size of nanoscale objects and devices. Calculate and convert units and dimensions below micrometer. So I think we have touched upon almost all of those until now in soft chalk lessons and videos. And again, those who are coming late, please turn your video on. This is something which helps me to see how things are happening on your side. All right. So there are many directions which we are still exploring when we talk about nanotechnology. There are areas of interest, not just uh, within uh, one domain, but across the board. So National Nanotechnology Initiative gave a grand challenge for research when it started. And the 9 grand challenges included nanostructured materials by design, because we know nanostructured material exists, they exist in nature. So, but we want to design them. And what do we mean by design? We want to change their chemical properties to our goals to achieve specific uh, activities or specific uh, interactions from them. You want to manufacture things at small scale. You read the talk by Dr. Feynman, which was from, what year was that from? 57 or 59?
59.
59. So about more than 60 years, right? So, and he talked about, he gave the vision of manufacturing at nanoscale. And I hope for that homework, you might have seen some applications where we are doing that now. So, and that was the challenge. Number 3 was chemical, biological, radiological, explosive detection and protection. This is again now in this time, we know there are so many medical related needs. There are needs where we want to measure remotely. We don't want to go close to some places. So that's still a challenge. Number 4, instrumentation and metrology. Instruments. Instruments that are based on nanomaterials or nanoscale approaches, or instruments where we can measure those things easily. We'll see that's, we have made a huge advancement to that when we talk about electron microscopes, and there's still more room to do. Nano-electronics, photonics, and magnetics. So when we talk about electronic devices, they are not just based on electrical signals, they are based on photonic signals as well, light or magnetic material. If you think about it, our hard drives, they are based on magnetic interactions in there. This will be a topic that will come up later on. Healthcare, therapy, diagnostics. So now we know we can take a swab and we can measure what RNA is there, what DNA is there, what are the molecules. But we are trying to make many more, much smaller and much quicker as well. So that's another challenge which we are solving through nanotechnology. Energy conversion and storage. Yeah, there's lots of work that has gone into creating alternative energy sources. But there's lots of work still going on in how do you store that energy, because we want to use electrical energy for our cars, for our vehicles, for our gadgets. We are thinking about energy on a lunar mission, for example, for lunar colonies. So these are some places where energy conversion, energy storage, energy delivery that requires new solutions. Microcraft and robotics. We are seeing there's lots of focus on autonomous vehicles, right? So one of you works, I saw the video where you can fly those drones. We are trying to make them smaller and smaller. We are trying to make them go into places where there's too much heat, maybe there's corrosive materials, where there are acids. So that's again where lots of work is going on in that direction. Nanoscale processes for environmental improvement. So there are some slides I have today for grand challenges related to environment. But you'll see there are grand challenges in almost all directions, in almost many different domains of our life, where we are looking for new solutions. And this is, so nanotechnology can possibly help us. So this is where I ask you for your questions. And the question don't have to be related to what we are talking about. Can be, now we have uh, almost 11 students here in the room. On the course policies, how it is helping you, the way we are doing things so far. We have more people in the room. I know some of you, Beto has been with me, George, I remember George, Varun, I remember Varun. So going from classroom to this online, how is how has been your first week?
It basically gives us a lot more freedom to do whenever what we want to.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
like yeah, I can work like and I can work like at night, which I like to do, and this is like a lot convenient as compared to like going in classes. Much more safer for sure.
right, yeah, the numbers are going up everywhere. In terms of challenge, are we uh, going slow, fast, too much work, shallow, deep? What do you guys think?
I think we're in a pretty good pace.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't want to overburden you, because I can give you a paper to read. Of course, I gave you a paper to read, but I want to make sure that things that you accomplished, it doesn't, uh, it's a summer course, but we're supposed to be in a regular session. We're supposed to meet 2 hours every day. So, but we need to keep that same challenge while not overdoing anything. So we are okay so far. All right. Now, key paper review. Did you put some thought into that? Do you get what am I asking there? The key paper review, which is due. When is it due? Is it due next week? It's due on July 23rd. Key paper nomination, KPR nomination reports due. Let me share my syllabus screen with you so we know the dates of deliverables. You see the Word document?
Hello.
All right. So let me switch on annotation. All right. So this is the next thing coming up. Have you guys started on this?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. So today is July 17th. Wanted to share a few things. This is supposed to be backward looking. You have to look back and see and find a paper that started something new. The first check, and some of you have taken courses from me, first check for that paper for you is how many citations that paper has. How do you find citations for a paper? what is the place you go to look if how many citations it has?
You can just go to Google Scholars, and if I like to find a paper, it can tell us the citations.
Scholar.google.com. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you, and it's going to take you some reading. You'll have to, if you pick a research paper, you have to see they'll always, in first two paragraphs, they'll talk about things that have happened in past. So there'll be few papers where you'll see that they have major impact in a whole area, whole domain. You'll have to go look for those. Once you look for those, then yeah, Google has a, a link there where it says that how many citations it has. You have to look for something that have thousands of citations, right? And it has to have a connection for nanotechnology. There'll be, just like we had a rubric for first homework, I'll be posting a rubric for KPR as well. So that should tell you there are a few things which I look for. I look for uh, thousands of citations. I will look for the specific things that you have to address, that what has been three examples of, or two examples, number of examples that I've asked them, how it has done. I think I have to change this. I copied it from them, but this is supposed to be summer 2020. So
I have a question. Are all of our assignments going to consist of like a 1-page essay, or is it going to be like other things like discussions or something?
So uh, when you get to the group research proposal, so that will be 4-page. And for the discussion group, we'll start a discussion group, what we call as Muddiest Points Forum, where this week's material, what are some muddy points? What are some topics that you could not understand? So there will be writing demand on every student. Yeah, but that's where I want to keep the assignments small, because you have to write at other places as well. So you understand that while restraining you guys to smaller pieces, I know that there are writing requirements for you at other places in the same course, right? So that's why I keep it restricted to less than 1 page. It helps me give a fair playing field to everyone as well. And the simple reason is there is so much material out there, and there is, especially when you're working online, there is huge temptation to copy paste material that uh, I don't like copy pasting. I like that you read few things and come up with a paragraph or two. A well-written paragraph, one or two, it speaks volume about your hard work that has gone into that. All right. So that's, but we're open for discussion on that as well. All right. So let's get back to our slides. A few more things, few more slides, and then we'll just stop for to enjoy the rest of Friday. All right. So some of the grand challenges, and these come from EPA, Environmental Protection Agency, the one agency that's very less liked these days. But nevertheless, they have set some questions for the whole world. So what are the properties of nanoscale materials that can be used to develop new sensing systems? Here it says environmental sensing systems, but today we know we need sensors, we need biosensors, we need chemical sensors, especially oil and gas. We need sensors related to infrastructure, especially when the buildings are aging or uh, bridges are aging. How can we sense them remotely or put them sensors that can see for early signs of breakage, cracks uh, in our road work? So there is need for uh, sensors which can sense, measure, analyze, and give us data remotely, where we can see how materials are changing in the environment. So that's one challenge in what we say in sensing. Another challenge is sustainable materials and resources. Now, what does it mean when we say sustainable? What does it mean for you when you hear the word sustainable?
Something that won't wear out.
So something that won't wear out or run out,
Yeah.
right? Anybody else?
Yeah, so something that's like lasts longer without harming the environment.
Last longer without harming the environment. Okay. Anybody else?
It's efficient in all manners.
It's, say it again, it's what?
Efficient in all manners, like all the ways.
All right. Okay. Very good. All right. So this, if you guys don't want to talk, you can write in chat also. That's also perfectly fine. I keep an eye on my chatter box. That is, I know some of us don't, some days we don't want to talk, you can type. That's perfectly fine as well. So, you know, what is the 60% source of energy across the board, whole world? Where do we get that 60% of our energy from? It's not nuclear, it's not solar, it's not wind, it's
It's coal.
it's it's coal. Coal is included in that. So
Oh, okay.
it's what you call hydrocarbons, right? It's coal, it's gas, it's crude oil. So we are using natural resources at a much faster pace than we need to, than we know. Fossil fuels, yeah, exactly. Adrian got it right. It's now it's going to run out one day. It's going to run out, and we are already facing this challenge. By 2050, the world population is going to increase by double, but our resources, if at the same pace, would not keep up with that. We are barely increasing 10 to 15% of our energy production every year. So in 30 years, there'll be big disparity. These are real numbers. These are uh, how much is the population is going to change.
What's up, man? I heard it's your birthday soon.
Is your birthday soon?
No, it's sorry. It's somebody else in the room.
Okay. That's fine. Don't feel embarrassed. My son just jumped behind me and I ignored him. Let me, yes, let me just show you that we all are here living this new lifestyle where at the back there are people who have to move around. Yeah, so we cannot stop people from moving around behind us. So yeah, this is my background. My son just jumped from the bunk bed, just woke up. All right. So 30 years, world population doubling. Our generation of our energy is not keeping up. But that's my elder brother walked in. But that's how we are living in this world. Sustainability, that's the thing. These are mindsets. See, what this is mindset which is making us change how we do things. The grand challenge is how can we change materials and resources which can use less energy. So, or they can use energy, change from one shape to another shape. How can we recycle material that we don't have to extract more things and create more things? Instead, that we can keep on recycling things. So these are loaded slides which I'm sharing with you, but I wanted to share, okay, big picture, why we are doing this course. And of course, we'll look at few things that in 4 weeks, we can look at few things only, given the big challenges. Now, transportation, it says transportation of people and goods. You know, every time uh, there are many people who immigrated to this country, like me, right? Many times when we see some food item, some vegetable or fruit that comes from back home, we are so happy to eat it, right? Like Varun and I, we come from India, Pakistan. We like mangoes from that place, although we grow mangoes here also. But what we don't know is how much gas has been used to transport that food all the way. Yeah, we can afford it, but the rest of the world is paying for that in terms of our use of those resources just to get that food to us. So transportation of people and goods, availability of clean water and supply of food, the whole range of things require new solutions. We want to nanotechnology, that's a grand challenge, how we can come up with sustainable materials and resources. We want resources that can, instead of manufacturing things where we have lost lots of wastage, you know, we need to, for every wood product, we have to cut a tree somewhere, right? So that's top down. Can we use nanotechnology to build things from bottom up? You know, we did a project in our lab where we were making polymer, not polymer, what do you call it? We are using tea to create layers of material that was as hard as wood. But all you do was you bring bacteria, which can create those things for us. So that's again where nanotechnology can have these processes where we would do bottom-up assembly. You see this word, there's an interesting word that's used here, and we'll talk about that also, bottom-up assembly. So instead of taking big things and cutting them the way we do that to make our fancy furniture, can we use natural processes to let bacteria or those things create those things for us? Another challenge, natural and global processes. We have uh, we are putting lots of things in nature, and we don't know where are they going or what is their end what you call it, disposal. So that's where we need to understand and quantify our impact. So yeah, we want to make new things, but we also want to know and see what is their impact on the natural resources. Health. Yeah. Now, if you think about it, we are dealing with something that we cannot see, but we cannot uh, overemphasize that we have the technology now where we can create our own things that are small. We can use nanoparticles. You know, sunscreen, you guys, we all were using sunscreen when we used to go out in the sun too often. We put the sunscreen on us, lotion. Sunscreen has silver nanoparticles in it. No, not silver, titanium nanoparticles in it, titanium, because it reflects UV. Very small amount, but nevertheless, these are in use. You know, in hospitals, they use those disinfectants. They have silver nanoparticles in them because silver nanoparticles show antimicrobial activity. So we know lots of material, lots of things which can do simple things for us. But when we talk about healthcare, we're talking about all the way from small materials to do simple things to cancer detection and cancer treatment, whole 9 yards. So it's lots of things happening. There are lots of things that need to be done. That's another big challenge that we have for nanotechnology. There's the list goes on, and we will be, that's what we'll do. We'll be trying to understand and learn what are the challenges, what are the needs. I put some more here, which is about toxicology, and there's about uh, nanoparticles, nanomaterials, how does they change everything that we have, and what may be their properties or how they may be affecting us as part of an ecosystem, not just for our health, but though everybody and everything that comes around us. So if you think about it now, there are many uses. So this is now where I'm sharing the uses where we are. We are using them in powders. We're using them in coatings. No, where do we use coatings? Give me an example of coatings. Do you?
The one you say for the sunscreen is one example coating to prevent the UV lights hit skin.
Yes, sunscreen is a coating. Yeah, I agree with you, Beto.
Or clothing that's like stain resistance or something.
Paints, right? Stain resistant paint. Think about your cars, car paint, right? Think about, I'm using this mug from UTRGV, free mug, proud to be tobacco free. These mugs, coating on everyday things we use. You know, it's interesting. We are now having much control, but they have found things with nanomaterial coating from thousands of years ago. They have found swords which on the sharp edge, they have found they had coatings of nanomaterials which would keep those sharp edges very sharp over time. But now we are manufacturing things. For example, I was talking about hard drives. Each hard drive have this magnetic read head on it. But not even, let's take a step back. You know, we used to have CD players. I don't know if some of you are that old. Used to have CD. Then we had DVD players, right? What came after DVD player? What came after DVD players?
Blu-ray.
Blu-ray,
MP3.
MP3s, Blu-ray. Right? So if you think about it, from CD, DVD, Blu-ray, what changed? Capacity, right? The capacity of the hard drive, the what do you call it, the CD or the disk. It's not the capacity that was changing. It was that the read and write head, how sharp or how thin could we make it so we could write a smaller on the CD, we could write a smaller. I have CDs here, right? Bring one out. So how small could we write on it and how small could we read from it? That was the bottleneck. So with each technology, we have been writing smaller and smaller. So we can put more data on the same surface area, more data on the same area. That's what has changed now, that we are going from GB, we're talking about TBs, terabytes on our hard drives. So there's whole range of areas, and we'll touch upon most of these in our course. All right, so I can keep on going talking about nanotechnology forever, but I should stop here. Let me say, okay, questions. Everybody got their homework in?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll be posting another paper today, which is more on the devices and semiconductor industry, more aligned, more focused on that. What is where it started and where we are today, right? So again, there'll be a one-page homework for that, which is due probably, I think, Tuesday. I'll put it for Tuesday. So that'll be your reading. I'm sorry I'm taking some time away on the weekend, but the schedule is so short, we have to keep on pushing things, all right?
Yeah.
So what I'll do, I'll put this video on YouTube, and I know when who's talking and the slides that come on the YouTube on the recording of Zoom. So I'll share the link with the class. But this is the link that we will use for our face-to-face session. Yeah, one more thing. Is this a good time every week for our one? I'm open to change it to other days as well, but I wanted to hear from you guys. So first one I wanted to do, like I tell you, come to class on Friday at 11, but is this a good time for everyone? And I'm saying because not everybody is getting the $700 a week check from the government. So some people are working, so they have schedule they have to follow. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, my son doesn't want to work these days. He say I'm getting lots of money from the government. It's okay. I'm not picking on you guys. I'm just saying that, yeah, Beto knows what I'm talking about. So if this time is okay, then we'll keep on doing it on Fridays. But if you feel we should have a session early, just send me an email, right? We can have maybe another short session. Okay, maybe 1 p.m. at Friday. Might have to go to my job at 9. Okay, so let's talk about it later on if you guys want to change this time. All right. I thought of sending a doodle poll, but first time I was hoping that let me bring everybody in and then we can talk about it. All right. No questions, then I'll let
Sir,
you.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Beto.
Uh, could you please just explain what about the key paper is gonna get the sources from? Because I was got a little bit confusing. It's gonna be anywhere from I can find it from IEEE or from the library. It's okay as well.
Okay, so how do you start your search for key pay-per-view? Very good. Okay, where it has done in past is, well, think about an area that you feel excited about. Okay, nanoparticles in paint or coatings. So start looking for, I would say start from scholar.google.com. Again, let me share that link with you. Okay,
Okay.
let me show it to you. I can share the screen and show you.
Yes, but what I'm concerned is in the syllabus says it can be related to the group team as well, right? So would it be like we arranged the team first and decided to
No,
connect,
you got it the other way around. So I said for group research proposal, when you get to that point, at that point, if your team, one of your team or 2, 3 people feel that you did a KPR and you feel there is more that can be done in that, that will
oh,
be
okay,
your research
okay,
proposal then.
okay, that's much different. Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah. At this point, you guys work independently. Can you guys see my screen with Google Scholar on it?
Not yet.
No,
Now
there
you,
is. Okay,
right? So I
yeah.
say, nanoparticles, I just say nanoparticles, right? So particles. It brings me, see, cytotoxicity of nanoparticles cited by how many?
okay.
2,677. That can be possibly a key paper review, but I take it off. You cannot do it now as I've shown it to you. You see my problem? Again, that's why I don't want to show these things, but this is how you start. Now you can go from cytotoxicity of nanoparticles. You'll find another paper that they might have cited or another paper that have cited this paper. You'll find one up or one below. From there, that will have thousands of citations. See this one, cited by 4,329. Oh yes, sir, this is the key paper. Antimicrobial effects of silver nanoparticles. I click it, it takes me to the paper. Oh man, wow, this is, yeah. And see, this is from March 2007. This is an old paper, at least 10 years old. That would be another thing. Generally, key papers are more than 10 years old because now they have huge impact. And that's what you're looking for. That's the kind of paper you have to give it, you have to give me. Right? You can see a first step I've shown you how to do that?
Yeah, that's
All right.
that's good.
Okay. You want me
That's
to
awesome.
go any further?
So generally, you want a paper more than 10 years old?
Yeah, generally key papers are 10 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But there are exceptions to that, like that paper on graphene paper when it came, they got Nobel Prize for graphene. That paper got thousands of citations in 2 years. It's an old paper now, but yeah, there are some exceptions, some places where some work comes out and goes around the world like crazy. All right. So it's again, some students, they send me 2-3 papers and attachments. No, I will not look at your papers. What you have to send me is the data about that paper and tell me, okay, I have found this paper. This talks about cytotoxicity of nanoparticles. It has 2,677 citations. Do you think it's a key paper in your site? I will then have a discussion with you. But if you just attach that paper and send it to me, no, I'm not reading your paper for you. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah. So do some due diligence and then share it with me, and I'll tell you if this is this, and then I will go and look for it. Then I will dig out and find out the paper, and then I'll give you some feedback. I will be happy to give you feedback because I love to learn these things. You become my eyes and ears to bring more knowledge to me. All right? You together?
Yes.
All right. So, any more questions? All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. All right, take care.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
know.